to Salutations, my dearest friends. My name is Samantha, and today I'm going to be doing a book haul from friends, family, some books that I bought myself. So yeah, let's go ahead and hop into this book haul. Hello, how are you? How you guys doing? Today is going to be just a casual book haul. I recently filmed a video where I talked about all of the stuff I got for Christmas for my family, and those were more like lifestyle items, bath products. Some of these books I did by myself, some books were given to me by my friends, and then other books were given to me by publishers. So let's just jump into it. Romances, cozy mysteries, fantasies, a little bit of everything. All of this was sitting over in like a corner in my room, and I've been waiting to like organize it, so I'm very excited to show you everything so I can put it on my bookshelf. I need to rearrange my bookshelves and maybe do like a massive unhaul. Let me know if you guys would be interested in me like reorganizing and unhauling some books, because I truly have no more space, but I do have a lot of books in my closet that probably could get unhauled. I talked about this in my Christmas haul, and that was I did get a new e-reader. Crazy, absolutely crazy. This is the bookswithsamantha 2. My parents got me this for Christmas. It is a mobile e-reader, basically like the size of your palm. Divine. I absolutely love it. I do like this a little bit better than the Kindle because it has the continuous scrolling option, which I absolutely adore, and it is slightly bigger than like my phone screen, but so happy that I have this. This was a real surprise. I think I mentioned it like maybe once or twice. I definitely shed a tear when I opened this because I really did want this e-reader. Reading is my main hobby. I love e-readers. I love throwing them in my bag and being able to read them on my lunch break, or if I'm reading in a long line. I mainly read like on Kindle Limited and ebooks, so ultimately like all of the books I'm reading are usually going to be on an e-reader. My sister also got me a reading journal. I am terrible, absolutely terrible at writing reviews for the books that I'm reading, so hopefully this will hold me more accountable, get me a little bit more organized. I have had reading journals in the past that I just don't stick to because I feel like they ask too many questions. Like, I'm not trying to dissect freaking prose and write a whole dissertation on a book. Like, I just want to jot down my thoughts and maybe the tropes and the character names. So this one seems a little bit more simple and manageable. I usually don't get a lot of bookish mail, but for some reason in December I totally did get a lot of bookish mail from publishers and book boxes, so I was very lucky on that side. First up, I got this book from Bloom. This is The Empress by Kristen Cast. I was so excited to get this in the mail. I was the biggest House of Night stan. I loved that series in high school and junior high. I read every single book. You guys know I'm obsessed with vampire and vampire literature, and that was my hyperfixation. I loved the House of Night series, so I'm really interested in reading something different by Kristen Cast. I think I've only read her House of Night series. Got this one from Forever. This is To Charm a Dark Prince by Catherine Ann Kingsley, another author that I have read from before that I really liked. I read her Phantom of the Opera retelling on Kindle Limited, so I'm very excited to read this fantasy. I did get some of the Kingmaker series from Bloom. Sophie Lark, one of my favorite authors ever. You guys know how much I love Sophie Lark. She recently signed with Bloom, so she's redoing a lot of her covers, and one of those is the Kingmakers series. I adore this series. The best way I can explain it is as if Hogwarts was actually an elite school for the mafia. Yeah, this is a second generation series. It follows a group of characters who all come from mafia families, and they get invited and sent to this elite mafia academy that teaches them how to run the family business, to be a spy, to be an assassin, all the things. And I love it. It's a darker mafia romance, but so good, so good. Did you read this without reading any of her other books? Possibly, but like, why would you want to? You should just read everything Sophie Lark has ever written because she's amazing. And I love the way she builds all of her worlds and connects everything. So this does connect to her Brutal Birthright series as well as her Underworld series. You guys know I love her. I rave about her all the time. I have several bookish tattoos for her books. I do like this new cover. It kind of like fits the vibe of the entire series. I love the sprayed edges. So Bloom was kind enough to send me Year 1, which is the first book, and then Year 3, which is the third book, obviously. Because I was missing the second book, my sister ended up gifting it to me. So this is book 2 of the Kingmaker series. So I love the way they look all together with like the sprayed edges. It's really pretty. Did get a box from Zando. This is a book by Samantha Allen. It is called Roland Rogers Isn't Dead Yet. This is a male-male romantic comedy, and then it also came with this little journal. It says for your ghosts and your notes. So this next book I was actually really excited to get. It was the new Catherine Cowles book. It's called All the Missing Pieces. I am a sucker, such a sucker for sprayed edges. I love that more publishers are doing this now because it just fits the vibe. Like, look at the cover, the pretty pink sprayed edges. This one, let me go ahead and grab the little notes. This is a small town suspense romance, very Catherine Cowles. Our heroine is a true crime podcaster. Our hero is the town's sheriff. It's a grumpy sunshine trope, forced proximity trope. We love, we love, we love. Definitely sounds like my vibe. I've only read a few Catherine Cowles books, but the ones that I have read, I've loved. By the way, my camera keeps dying, so if like the angles keep changing, it's because I forgot to charge my battery. And if you hear my brother in the background, it's because he got a VR set for Christmas and he's playing it and he's very loud. But it's fine, everything's fine. Moving on, another book from Bloom. This is Stealing for Keeps by Rebecca Genshak. I love Rebecca Genshak so much. I really started reading her books in 2024. I had read some of her other books like before that, but I don't know, her sports romances are just so good. I love Burnout, which is a romance between an Olympic gymnast and a motocross rider. And then I also really loved Playbook, which was a grumpy sunshine trope where our heroine is the grumpy one and our hero is a football player. So love her sports romances, and this one is another sports romance, Stealing for Keeps. Our hero is a soccer player and our heroine is an aspiring figure skater. Again, we're gonna go ahead and get the fancy dancy paper they send me. Hero's a soccer star. Oh, this is a YA romance. Interesting. But it's also friends to lovers, which is my favorite trope. It also came with these stickers. How cute. I kind of want to use these on my Kindle, on my Kindle, my Books Palma. Sando sent me an arc of one of my highly anticipated books, and that is Hungerstone by Kat Dunn. This is a sapphic vampire horror romance. It's kind of a little bit of everything. Kind of gives like Dowry of Blood vibes, where it has like a gothic undertone. Sapphic vampires. A compulsive feminist reworking of Carmilla, the queer novel that inspired Dracula. Period. Again, I will reiterate, I am absolutely obsessed with everything that has to do with vampire literature. It's my favorite. I even have a little Dracula tattoo right here on my arm. I think I read Dracula in like the 7th or 8th grade, and it quite literally changed my life. Like, it was hands down one of my favorite books I've ever read. I obsessively collect every copy of Dracula that I can find. More recently, I did read Carmilla and loved it even more. Carmilla predates Dracula and has inspired so much vampire literature and is such a staple in the queer community. Just, it's amazing. I love it. So I'm so excited to read this because I haven't found a Carmilla retelling that I love as much as the original work quite yet. Like, every time something kind of markets itself as a Carmilla retelling, it doesn't hit the same, but hopefully this gives me the same vibes. Fingers crossed. All right, let's go ahead and chat about some books that my sister got me. She got me 2 Cozy Mysteries by Ellie Alexander. I love Cozy Mysteries, and Ellie Alexander is hands down my favorite Cozy Mystery author of all time. Okay, the girlies are just not doing it like she is. I think she has the best Cozy Mysteries. First up, I have Sticks and Stones. This is a part of her Bake Shop Mystery series. It's like book 17, book 18. I have read the whole series. I am caught up, and this was the last book I needed to complete my collection because it is her newest release. I know she's releasing more this year though, so excited to read those. If you've never read a Cozy Mystery series before and you were looking for a good place to start, right here, Bake Shop Mystery Series by Ellie Alexander. I also love her Secret Bookcase Mystery Series. She actually just came out with this series in 2024. For her, it is a shorter series if you are intimidated by like 18 books to catch up on. This is a really nice place to start as well. The Secret Bookcase Mystery Series is a bookish cozy that takes place in a small town in Northern California. Our heroine, Annie, works at a mystery-themed bookshop, and she also studies criminology, so she's kind of a little bit more than your average annual sleuth. This one is the Christmas book. It's called A Holiday in Homicide, or A Holiday Homicide. I think this is the 4th book in the series. I've only read the first 2, so I do need to catch up a little, but it's Ellie Alexander, so I know I'm gonna love it. Then I have been in my fantasy era recently. So my sister did gift me a fantasy book that was on my TBR. It is Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff. Again, love vampires. I'm always in a vampire mood. And Jay Kristoff is one of those authors that so many people love and has been on my TBR for so long. I just need to read his books, even though they're like so long. Like, how many pages is this? It's less than 800 pages, but it feels very longer. Anyways, I will definitely get to that this year. I'll probably film a reading vlog on it because I know everyone loves this book. I think this was on my TBR because of Sophie Lark, if I'm not mistaken. I remember when she was writing Anastasia, she was reading like a lot of vampire books, and I feel like this was one that she read as she was writing that book. So speaking of Sophie Lark and vampire books, I have 2 Sophie Lark books and a vampire book. These 4 books were all gifted to me by friends. So the first one is Carmilla. We were just talking about you, girl. I love Carmilla. This is a classic book that somehow still feels very, very modern. It's gothic, romantic, a little gory and horror vibes, just so good. Carmilla is a queer icon. I don't make the rules. She is a queer icon, and I love her. I love this book. I'm slowly collecting different editions of Carmilla like I do with Dracula. And my friend Christy from Christy Reads a Lot gifted this to me for Christmas. Christy also gifted me the new Bloom edition of Grimstone by Sophie Lark. This is like her gothic small town romance series. Another Sophie Lark book. This is Monarch, and this was gifted to me by my friend Kija from Kija Reads Romance. My Omegaverse bestie. Love you girl so much. Again, the sprayed edges are going to hit every single time. I hope that every publisher and every book has sprayed edges from now on. Another book with sprayed edges. This one is A Pirate's Life for Tea by Rebecca Thorne. This is the second book in her cozy sapphic fantasy series, and my friend Sarah gifted this to me for Christmas. I loved the first book in this series so much, so I'm excited to get to this one. I know there's a couple of different installments in this series now. I see Rebecca Thorne talk about this series on Instagram all the time. And look at this step back. Bring back step back. Bring back pretty arts. Keep the sprayed edges, because like everything about this is gorgeous. Speaking of pretty books, I do have a couple of books that I gifted myself. I got 2 books when we went to the Shakespeare bookstore in Paris. Because it's a Shakespeare bookstore, of course I had to get a William Shakespeare book. So I got this Romeo and Juliet UK Penguin Classic Edition. I love how it's illustrated. I was very tempted to get like all of the editions in this art style because they really are so pretty, but I resisted. And then like I told you guys, I love Dracula. I collect any copies that I see of Dracula or Carmilla, and I saw this edition that I did not have. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty, and it has like, what is the word for this, where the edges, like the paper is kind of like, textured? I don't know. Please tell me what this type of paper is. When we went to Waterstones, I saw this beautiful cover of Blood of Hercules by Jasmine Moss, which is a fantasy romance. Not gonna lie, I picked it up because of the sprayed edges. I thought they were quite beautiful. And this is also signed by the author. Speaking of pretty sprayed edges, I got this Waterstone exclusive edition of Bewitched by Lucy Jane Wood. It's another cozy fantasy book, and again, gorgeous sprayed edges. As soon as I saw it, I was like, I need to have this. I absolutely need to have this. And then lastly, I got this special edition of Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. This wasn't exclusive to the UK or anything like that, but they had it at Waterstones, and I had never seen it in person before, and it has like this really pretty gold foiling, so I decided to pick it up. Surprisingly enough, I've never read Magnolia Parks. It's a really popular contemporary series, but I've never read it, babes. I've never read it. Sorry if I was yapping. We ran through that pretty quick, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video nonetheless. If you have read any of these books and you like them, please let me know. If you stayed this long and enjoyed the video, leave me a book emoji. Leave me a book emoji in the comments down below if you stayed this long, and I'll know that we're bookish besties. As always, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend time with me. It means the absolute world to me. I hope you guys are all staying happy and healthy, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!